There's some brand new reporting to tell you about that we can add to the pile that has been building over recent weeks of developments and new public-facing evidence, signs, if you will, all suggesting that obstruction of justice charges could be coming in the DOJ investigation into the ex-president's handling of classified documents. The Washington Post reports that top Trump lawyer Evan Corcoran has, quote, recused himself from representing the ex-president, specifically in the special counsel's documents case. More from that reporting, quote, grand jury proceedings are secret, so it's not immediately clear how helpful Corcoran's testimony might be to Jack Smith and his team. But legal ethics rules, including those in Maryland and Washington, D.C., generally bar lawyers from acting as advocates at trial when they are likely to be essential witnesses. Corcoran played a key role in Trump's legal team's communications with DOJ's efforts to obtain documents, including drafting their claim that they'd conducted a, quote, diligent search months before the FBI would go on to find more than 100 documents still in Trump's possession. Last month, Corcoran was forced to testify before the federal grand jury after the judge found investigators uncovered sufficient evidence that Trump had committed a crime, thus piercing that fraud crime protection. Joining our conversation, former U.S. Attorney, former Deputy Assistant Attorney General Harry Litman's here to make sense of it. Tim and Luke are still here. Harry, tell us what to make as tea leaf readers of this Corcoran reporting in the Washington Post.
I think it's pretty big stuff, Nicole. So first, it is obviously because he is going to be a witness in a Mar-a-Lago case. That's important in and of itself. Second, although the Post says it's not clear what he's going to discuss, I think it is clear. Remember, the very communications he had with Trump, a judge already has looked at and found were evidence of a crime. What crime? Almost certainly obstruction, the very crime that Trump is likely to be charged with. In other words, Corcoran's going to be a star witness for the very charge that Smith is likely to bring when he brings it. And what did the president say to you? And he's just got to fess up with evidence that already has been judged to be more likely than not, and perhaps way more likely than not, evidence of a crime. Finally, the trigger is the trial itself. So that Corcoran decided to do it is some soft indication that they're really anticipating charges from Smith in this matter, because he could have stayed his hand on recusing, even though it was the smarter move after the grand jury testimony.
Harry, there's this in the Post also. Evan Corcoran is still representing Trump in other cases, such as special counsel Jack Smith's probe into the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol, according to these people. Is that normal, that Trump says, you're going to be a witness against me? If I am found guilty of obstructing the probe, it will be in part because of your testimony against me. I think what Corcoran was involved in was something that Christina Bobb also said she was instructed to say. She tried to parse it. Corcoran may be the linchpin between Trump and Christina Bobb. Why does Trump keep him as a defense lawyer in other criminal investigations?
Yeah. Look, he really likes him, and Trump has trouble keeping and like defense lawyers. But it's true, because first it makes evidence more probative. Oh, and this is the guy who you're also working for Donald Trump. And again, please, what did he tell you? So that, that's one point. And is it unusual? It is unusual, but it's Trump's call. So it demonstrates this isn't a Trumpian fit of pique where he just gets rid of a lawyer. This is Corcoran himself saying, I just can't help you on Mar-a-Lago. At the end of the day, it's going to be awfully ungainly for Corcoran to be involved in other trials. We'll see if he sticks around or has any kind of out front role. But it does show you he's still part of Team Trump, and yet he's going to have to put the knife in because the judges have already ruled that he must testify.
It's got like a historical echo to what Trump wanted Pence to do, even though Pence had no authority to do it. What Corcoran has to do now is tell the truth and abide by the law, especially in this documents case. But Trump may not understand that yet. I want to read a little bit more about how Corcoran came to this place. This is from the Times reporting last month. Judge Beryl Howell's order ruling that Corcoran must testify was said to be accompanied by an 86-page memorandum of law. She found that the Justice Department had met the threshold for having a credible case that Trump had obstructed justice, justifying its request to override attorney-client privilege and require Corcoran's testimony about his role, according to people familiar with the memorandum's contents. So if this has happened and he's recused, Jack Smith already knows everything about these incidents.
Yeah, if I'm reading this correctly, obviously we don't know everything that's happening with the grand jury, but it certainly seems like they are focused very much on this instance about whether Trump lied to them
and told them to lie.
Yeah, told them to lie about giving all the documents back, and that Corcoran had to recuse himself essentially because you would have an obvious conflict of interest. So, this to me is a very clear signal about how close they are on this obstruction of justice charge that, Corcoran had to take this step.
Harry, I hate running a clock and asking questions of timing. It's clear that Jack Smith is moving with alacrity, something we talk about a lot on this show. But when you are at the lawyer involved in the alleged supposed crime, where are you in a criminal investigation in terms of making a charging decision?
Really, really close to the finish line now. But of course, Corcoran now testified. It's been a couple weeks. And at the time, I and others said, boy, this shows he must be pretty close. Then we got reliable reporting that Smith had garnered yet more evidence from people around Mar-a-Lago of more incriminating stuff. So he could be putting icing on the cake or building things out more. But it really seems like, I'll put it this way, I'm hard pressed to see important big moves that he has left before putting a package together for the Attorney General's approval.